Time for Cameron's TED Talk about video game violence. Hello, yes, thank you. Now, I don't want to wait that long, so let's just dive straight into a topic that stirs up debates at dinner tables, classrooms, and social media: video games and violence. In Canada and many other parts of the world, gaming has become a universal pastime, especially among youth. But along with the fun comes a lingering question: are violent video games turning young kids into aggressive individuals? Today we're going to explore the facts, the fears, and the fascinating perspectives from anthropology, psychology, and sociology to see the bigger picture. Now, let's start with a statistic that often fuels the fire. Did you know that 24% of mass shooters have reported to play violent video games? That sounds concerning until you hear that 52% of them didn't. Clearly, the connection isn't as straightforward as it seems. Yes, some individuals with aggressive tendencies might gravitate towards violent video games, but millions of people play these games without ever becoming violent. The issue resonates with me personally. Many people close to me believe that video games directly cause behavior problems. I chose this topic to uncover the truth. Does gaming truly affect your behavior? And if so, how? Let's break it down. From an anthropology perspective, violent video games could be seen as a symbolic reenactment of real-world conflicts, just as our ancestors engaged in rituals or symbols acts to progress aggression. Modern games might serve as a safe outlet for those primal instincts. Multiplayer games even create virtual communities where violence can be a way to bond, build status, or form group identities. Anthropologists also compare how different societies respond to video games, cultural norms, and existing levels of real-world violence shape their impact, offering a fascinating lens on how media interacts with social values. Now, let's talk about the psychology perspective. Psychologists bring another layer to this discussion. Based on Bandura's social learning theory, some argues that violent games provide models of aggression that younger players might imitate. On the flip side, games can also offer a safe outlet for frustrations, potentially reducing real-world aggression. Clinical research examines how games impact mental health. Do they increase anxiety or anger, or could they help players cope with pre-existing conditions? The truth likely lies somewhere in between, varying from person to person. Now, let's talk about sociology. Sociologists analyze violent video games as culture products. They reflect social attitudes about power, heroism, and conflict, potentially normalizing aggressive behavior. Group dynamics in these games, forming alliances or engaging in battles, might influence real-world relationships and social behavior. Representation matters too. Violent games often promote ideas of dominance, aggression, or masculinity, which can shape how players view themselves and others. These social influences are crucial to understanding the broader impact. Now let's talk about solutions. I believe part of the problem lies in education and social media. Mental health plays a huge role in how violent games affect individuals, yet schools in Canada and likely elsewhere don't address youth mental health enough. We need to create spaces where kids can discuss their struggles and explore how games might impact their life. Research should focus on the specific mechanics of violent games and how they influence a developing brain. Parents, too, have a role to play. By researching games together and having open conversations, families can decide whether a child is mature enough to handle certain content. Additionally, schools could implement programs that teach critical thinking about media, helping students understand how games are designed and the potential effects of long-term exposure to violence can empower them to make informed choices. These programs could also include guidance on managing screen time and finding a balance between gaming and other activities. Social media platforms where many gaming communities thrive should also be monitored to ensure that discussions around violent games remain healthy and constructive. This could prevent harmful behaviors from spilling into the real-world interactions. Violent behavior isn't caused by one factor alone, though. It's a complex mix of individual traits, family dynamics, social environments, and yes, sometimes media influences. Video games are one piece of a much larger puzzle. By considering the roles of anthropology, psychology, and sociology, we gain a holistic view that allows us to address issues more effectively. At the end of the day, we should remember that video games are also a source of joy, connection, and creativity for millions of people. Let's not allow fear to overshadow the positive aspects of gaming. Instead, let's work together, educators, parents, researchers, and gamers, to ensure that games are enjoyed for everyone. So let's continue the conversation grounded in curiosity and compassion to ensure video games remain what they were meant to be, a source of entertainment, connection, and creativity. Thank you for joining me today and letting me take this journey for you.